Today we're going to be taking a look at 75402 ARC-170 Starfighter. This set just released on January 1st with 497 pieces and a retail price of $70 US, which is actually a pretty fair deal, especially compared to some other sets that just released. And after 15 years, the wait is finally over. We have a new ARC-170. And the first thing I have to say is I'm so happy that it actually includes 3 clone pilots, with one of them actually being Oddball, a character LEGO has never made before. A Jedi in this set would have been cool, but not at the expense of replacing one of these clone troopers. I never liked how Kit Fisto always replaced the 3rd clone trooper in the 2010 model because he just looked weird sitting inside the ship, but now with this model we actually have 3 clone troopers and I'm very happy with that. The front box art also looks really good, being based off of Kata and Ammonia, although unfortunately at the bottom left it has the 332nd trooper, which is the box art they use on Clone Wars sets, and you usually wouldn't see me complain about this. However, because this is an episode 3 set, like others, I do think it would have been a lot cooler if there was a Darth Vader figure right here. Anyways though, on the back of the box you're going to find a cool picture of the set in what appears to be a very dark and gloomy Venator hanger, along with all of its play features and different functionalities. And then actually opening up the box and digging in, on the inside you're going to find 4 separately numbered bags, along with your instruction manual, as well as a sticker sheet with a total of 16 separate stickers, which is kind of crazy. But now taking a look at the minifigures, first up here we have R4P44, and this is a very simple astromech droid that has a basic dark green and white colorway. There's really not much to see here, but LEGO did do as good as they needed to on it. And if you're wondering, here's what it looks like to the one that came in the 2010 ARC-170, and they are pretty much exactly the same, which I didn't even realize until I actually compared them for this video. There's just some very subtle differences here and there, but to the untrained eye, they are pretty much exactly the same. But now actually moving on to the figures we care about most, being the clone pilots, and I have to say these guys are pretty much perfect. LEGO did a great job on them. As you can see, the only differences between them are their helmet prints, with Oddball on the left, Captain Jag in the middle, and then just a standard pilot on the right. These guys really do look incredible. I have no complaints about them. Great printing on the helmets, great printing on the torsos, on the front and the back, and they also got new face prints, which looks surprisingly accurate to what we see in episode 3. And if you're wondering, here is Captain Jag in the standard pilot compared to the 2010 Captain Jag and the 2010 standard pilot. Those figures were good for their time period, but as you can see, LEGO has upgraded them significantly, and the ones we have today are noticeably better. Overall, I'm very happy with this minifigure lineup. In my head, it's clearly an upgrade from the 2010 model. Again, a Jedi would have been cool, but I'd rather have the 3rd clone pilot. Although in a perfect world, I guess we would get a Jedi on top of what's already here. Although unfortunately, the figures might actually be the best part of this set, because now actually moving on to the build, I have to say I'm a bit underwhelmed by it. And the first thing I gotta talk about is the wings, because man, they are really short, way shorter than they need to be. Especially the smaller ones on the top and the bottom that actually fold open, they're just super short. They don't really do the look of the ARC-170 much justice, and also the wings themselves don't open wide enough. It gets even worse when you compare it to the 2010 model, which I have right here. As you can see, its wings are proportionally much longer and they open wider, giving it a much more aggressive and sort of dramatic look, which this newer one just doesn't really seem to have. And no, it's not just because it's a smaller model, it's because the wings don't open wide enough and they're not long enough compared to the size of the cockpit, which just makes it kind of underwhelming in my head at least. However, one thing it definitely does have over the 2010 model is the actual functionality to open the wings. As you can see here, there's just this switch on the bottom at the back that you just slide back and forth, and the wings just very easily pop open and close back. It's a very simple design that was actually pretty fun to build, and honestly it's also just kind of a cool function to look at, with the Technic pieces on the sides moving as you can see here. Although one thing that is kind of annoying is that when you slide this lever, the wings don't open all the way, so you kind of have to go in there and manually pull them open a little bit further. And like I said, it's a significant upgrade from the 2010 model, because it just had a gear on the back that you had to twist and twist, and it would literally take like 30 seconds to open the wings, and from my experience it's always just super tedious when I need to close and open the wings on this model. Now as for the actual detail on the wings themselves, it's pretty decent. I don't really have much to say. On the smaller wings there's 2 stickers, one on the end and the other one being the Republic Navy symbol, with the bottom wings being exactly the same, and then there's actually these stickers on the bigger wings that are kind of hidden that you can't see unless you open them up. Now as for the big cannons on the side go, I don't really like them, and the spring-loaded shooters sticking out the back don't really help much either. I know LEGO really likes to include these, but on this set they just don't look very good on the outside of the wings like this. And also they replace what should be the smaller cannon. The 2010 model has both the cannons, the smaller one being on top and the bigger one being on the bottom, but on the newer one it's just the spring-loaded shooter and one cannon, and it just doesn't look that great. I honestly think LEGO should have tried to incorporate these shooters in the nose or body of the ship somehow, not on the ends of the wings like this. And also, not to mention, the cannons that we do have on the ends of the wings are way too short, especially compared to the 2010 model. They really should go all the way about to the front of the ship, or maybe 2 or 3 studs short, but as you can see here, they only go about halfway, and it just does not look how it's supposed to. The engine intakes on the front, on the other hand, end actually do look pretty good. I wish LEGO could have somehow made them a little bit bigger, but what we do have looks good. They're very sleek and they have those nice angled fins on the inside. And then following the engines from the front all the way to the back, the actual thrusters themselves look good too. They're a very basic design, similar to what we saw on the 2010 model, but it works and it looks good. The front nose area is probably where this build shines the most. They really did get the shaping down pretty much perfectly. It's extremely clean and sleek looking, and there's a few stickers on the side as well as one on the top to add some detail. It also does a good job at just supporting the front area of the ship when you have it sitting flat like this, along with this big brick built sort of block in the middle area that holds the rest of the ship up. Now the shaping on the front of the ship is probably where it shines the most, but the worst part about this ship has to be the cockpit, specifically the stickers on the windshields. And I mean, holy crap, these look horrendous. As you can see on the box here, they're supposed to be white and they're advertised to be white, but that is nothing how they look in person. They're just this ugly gray looking color. It kind of looks like wet paper. They're just really rough to say the least. Actually, no, I'm gonna say the most. They're horrendous. They're ugly. I feel like there's really no way LEGO wouldn't have known this would be a problem with these stickers, so they should have just printed these pieces if it was gonna end up being this bad. But stickers aside, as you'd expect, you can very easily lift all three of them up to access some very basic cockpit interiors. The front one having a sticker control panel, the middle one actually having a printed control panel, and the back gunner seat just having an extra seat, no control panel. And I do have to say, I like the tan pieces in the interior. It's super simple, but the tan looks better than maybe black or gray, in my opinion. And then obviously, as you'd expect, you can very easily load up all three of your troopers and put Captain Jag in the very front seat, and then grab your astromech droid and put him in the droid area. And like the 2010 one, you have to put the droid in before you close the cockpits back down, because they actually sort of cover his shoulders and hold him in place, which I think is cool because I like the look of just his head popping out and not his entire body. And despite the cockpit windshields themselves looking bad, the shaping around the cockpit is done very well. Just like the front area, it's sleek and clean with some stickers here and there. And then on the very back, you're going to have your rear cannons or a turret on these ball joints that actually have a pretty good range of motion. You can really point them wherever you want to. And they look really solid, although I wish they were just a tad bit longer. So after 15 years of waiting, does this set live up to the hype and our expectations? And honestly, I have to say, for me at least, no, not really. Like I said at the beginning, I'm just a bit underwhelmed by the model, but at the same time, this is also coming from someone that owns one of the previous versions. I do think if you're someone that doesn't have an ARC-170, you'll really enjoy this set, but for me at least, there's just a few blatant problems here and there. The wings are too short, the cannons on the wings are too short, I don't like how the spring-loaded shooters replace the second cannon that's supposed to be on the wings, and then the worst part by far is those cockpit stickers. Holy, they look so bad. But at least it actually has a pretty decent price, unlike Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor. So I'm feeling a solid 7.8 out of 10 for this set, and when it comes to if I would recommend this set to you guys or not, I feel like no matter what I say, most of you are going to go out and buy it anyways because we've been waiting on this for 15 years. So if you don't own one of the previous ARC-170s, go get it. This is a decent model. I think most of you guys will enjoy it, but if you're someone that does own one of the previous ones in good condition, especially the 2010, you'll probably end up being underwhelmed by this set. Anyways though, let me know what you guys think about this set down in the comments below. If you're new, please consider subscribing, and if you want to check out more of my videos, you can see the screen right now.